So I just picked up this early 1940s Walker Turner lathe, and it appears to be mostly all here. It's got the outboard tool rest and a single tool rest and then a double tool rest. I'm not sure if that was a factory option or just something somebody added after. And a small faceplate and a large faceplate, but it needs a lot of love. First off, notice there's a little bit of play in this shaft, end to end, and little tiny bit up and down. And then the drive pulley right here seems to be slipping on the shaft. And then this crank right here, threads on the crank handle itself are stripped out, so we're gonna have to figure out something to do with that. And then the lower motor mount is just kind of monkeyed together. I'll have to design something different there, clean that up a bit. A new electrical cord, obviously. But I'm not a purist by any means when it comes to restoring tools. Just want to get it back to functioning so it can be a usable tool here in the shop. So I'm going to see what I can do. I've got to tap out these old bearings and put in some new. So these ones are a little longer than the original ones. I may have to trim down the one so it clears the drive pulley. That's not a big deal. I'll double check all the measurements and then tap them in place. So I've double checked the measurements and these longer bearings will work fine. Going to go ahead and tap them in. So that's all back together with the belt on. So it's all nice and tight compared to before. No end-to-end play at all, no up and down play. Pretty solid. So I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to move on to the tailstock and the crank that was stripped out. So I'll clean it up, put it all back together now. So the treads are totally stripped off this handle. I'm not even sure if this is the original handle. I doubt it. Looks like something somebody's put on there. It's a little more modern. Maybe, I'm not sure. What I'm going to attempt to do is drill right down through it and put a 3/16 roll pin. Could be a little tricky, but I'll give it a try here. So I got this all drilled out. The roll pin. Had it on there. The roll pin tapped in there okay. It was holding nice. It would have worked, but I couldn't find a handle to go in there nicely. Didn't really like it, and wasn't sure if it really matched the machine anyways. Might be the original, I'm not sure, but I didn't like the whole look of it. So I just got poking through my junk bins and found this old table saw crank, an old antique table saw. Perfect shaft size. Just went on with a set screw. Works beautifully. So that wraps up the tailstock, is all good to go. And the headstock is all good to go. So now I just gotta cut the shelf that goes down there and make the motor mount. And then this thing will be almost done. Okay, so I've jumped ahead a little bit in this project without recording it. I got this bottom shelf all installed. So it's all red oak. It's a bunch of strips glued up, 3/4 strips glued up, just like in my desktop video, same method. Actually, it's just the scraps left over from that project. Got the motor mounted. That took a little bit of fan dangling. The motor mount was actually welded a little bit out of square, so I had to shim it up a little bit on this side. But it seems to be working well. I've had it up and running, just testing it, make sure the alignment and everything was good. Worked well, so now basically all that's left of this project is just to clean up the electrical. So I went to Home Depot yesterday, got a new cord and plug. So I'm gonna mount the switch up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this piece of armor cable here or not, or just replace it with the extension cord cable as well. And then this thing's just about ready for use. Okay, so it's all done. I'm very happy with it. This is a good solid lathe. Everything turned out tight as can be. There's no play in that shaft whatsoever, either direction. New handle's nice and tight, works great. I think I will make a new tool rest eventually. Whoever made this one up made it wrong. This piece should have been up on its edge, not on its flat like that, but for the time being it'll do. Electrical's all done. Even cleaned up the original switch plate. It's the General Electric motor switch plate. I don't know if you can read that or not, but I thought it was pretty cool. Nice little detail from back in the day. So I've just centered up this piece of firewood. I'm not even sure what it is. I think it might be ash, but I'm not sure. So let's give it a try and see what this thing can do. So yeah, it makes shavings, makes them quickly. Works lovely. One thing I did notice is just has the, I think they call them a dead center. I have to get a live center with the bearing there. It starts to squeak and I had to give it a little shot of oil. It's alright just for playing with, but you wouldn't want to give it any oil when you're actually turning something you're going to use and put finish on. So I'd order one of those, but it's just a Morse taper. I think number 2 Morse taper. It's no big deal. So yeah, overall, very happy with it. Especially considering it's a 80-year-old tool. Give it some new life. And hope to get another few years out of it anyways. So I just gotta find a spot to put it in this little workshop, hopefully over right in there. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.